Hey folks, it's Les here again from 6S1 with another look inside some of the features that we're including in the base kit for our new human figure, Scarlet. This time we're going to take a look at the hair that we've included, and we've decided to take a little bit different route, like a lot of other things, with the hair, and included strand-based hair that doesn't have dynamics on it, but works in a little bit different way. As far as the user is concerned, the user experience with this is going to be just like using any polygon hair that has, say, morphs and control dials and things like that in it, but it's strand based. So we've kind of we've come up with a way that we can strike a balance between all the accuracy and control that you have with polygon based hair, but have the quality and flexibility that you can get with dynamic hair, without having to run simulations and things like that. So it's really, I feel like it's kind of a step forward in some areas. And also, the way that this is built, it actually allows us to take the hair that is included in the base Scarlet package and produce add-ons for it with an absolutely endless amount of possibilities. There's just about nothing. I have yet to find anything that cannot be built out of this hair if you have the source files that we use, which we're also going to be releasing in a separate kit for developers. So we'll actually make that available so others will be able to take it and use it. And if they follow the video tutorial that we're going to include with that, they'll actually be able to create their own add-ons just for this hair to turn it into virtually any kind of hair you would want to put on Scarlet. So anyway, now that we've got that little introduction out of the way, let's go ahead and actually take a look at the goods. Here we have Scarlet loaded in, and since this is strand-based hair, you'll notice that it can look a little sparse in the viewport. So this does require actual rendering. I know some folks use Poser and they'll just take what's in the viewport and grab a capture of it, and if that works for you, great. But this is really intended for use with full rendering. So just to give you a look at some of the capabilities of this, I've gone ahead and done some quick renders, some quick test renders. So let's just jump down to, here's one. Here's a good one. This shows the hair blowing to the right. Then this is a style. This is a style that we've put in here, a preset called Bell. Then let's take a look. Here's another style. These are in this hair in the base kit. This one's called Tailor. Then pinned top. So if we go back over to our regular view, I'll turn that one on and you can take a quick look at it. You can see it completely changes all of the strands. It's not just combing the strands or shaping them. It lengthens, it shortens, it does all kinds of things to them. It's a really interesting method that we've come up with, and the look that it allows us to yield is, I think, pretty striking. You know, it is all the quality of strand hair with all the control of polygon hair, and it's a really unique new thing. Here you can see the I believe it's the slicked behind ears. Let's go back. Let's see. Here's another early test. So if we take a look at this back inside our normal view, you can see the hair as it changes. You can just watch that shape change. So not only do you get the shapes that we include, but because of just the nature of how this works, you can dial in, combinations from them all day long and take the included shapes and combine them into all kinds of interesting new looks. Here you can have it tied back, tied low, tied mid, tied high. We've really tried to put some really comprehensive sorts of shapes into the base kit with this, and both both so that it would give you something cool to work with, and give you a lot of different options, but also things that will allow you to get a little bit of an idea of just some of what it's capable of in combining them. Also, along with all the styles, and the styles are kind of the showpiece of it because there's just it's just so versatile what you can do with this. Along with the styles, we've also included some volume settings. We can increase all of the volume of the hair, which you could go absolutely crazy with if you wanted. Then we've included some some width, side-to-side width, height, and depth dials for the volume, which kind of gives you ways to just sort of globally increase or decrease the actual size of the hair, depending on what you're doing with the figure underneath. Some other dials that you'll find under blowing movement, you'll find blown right. And you'll see that, unlike with polygon hair, where sometimes you have intersections and things, showing through each other, and just all kinds of weirdness that can happen with that, since this is a strand base, that just doesn't happen. And you'd be surprised how fast this stuff renders. Take a look at blown left. And we'll go around to the side so you can see blown back. That one's kind of cool. Then the last thing I want to show you, because I know there's a lot of folks who like to do pin-ups and sexy art and so on and so forth, and Scarlet, she's totally capable of being used for that sort of thing. And if you've got, whether it's a pin-up or something kind of sexy, or I do most of the artwork that I personally do that I enjoy doing is kind of comic book or action oriented, sci-fi, horror, fantasy, all that kind of stuff. And sometimes your heroes get knocked down, so there's all kinds of reasons and times where a character may be laying down. And one of the complaints that I hear from users, have heard for years, is that it's really hard to get hair and poser to look good laying down. When someone's on their back, you typically have to do a lot of post work and painting, and there's just a lot of headache that goes into that. So just to sort of answer that for people, I couldn't tell you. I've probably heard that from at least hundreds, if not a couple thousand people through the years. I mean, it's crazy how many times I've heard stuff about hair and things they want to do with hair in their artwork. So I've included 3 very simple, very easy to use settings right off the bat for lying down. So if we look at lying down, of course I'm not going to turn her where she's lying down, but if we turn her to the side, you'll see this setting. If you were to do a shot of her lying down from the side, this will give you a very effective, very natural look of her hair, laying on a surface. Then, if she were, let's say, laying on her, laying to her left, okay? And it doesn't even matter if we turn the head with that. Let's just go ahead and grab this hair and turn this morph on so you can see. I was just kind of posing her a little bit so you could get an idea there. You could turn her over, pose her however you like, create a little compression or whatever in your pose, but here you have hair that really works well for her laying to her side. Then we have the same thing going to the left. And what's more, since this is strand based and just the way that these shapes work with the strands, of course the viewport wants to do that red overlay sometimes, so you have to watch about that. But we can combine just laying down with different things, things like volume and so forth. And again, you have this just huge palette of shapes that you can work in, just depending on what you need in your scene. The last thing we want to take a look at and just kind of give you an overview of with the last thing we want to take a look at and give you an overview of with Scarlet's default hair is the ease of applying, changing, creating materials, different color settings for it. So here we have black applied. If we go into our material room, you'll see that the hair, its colors and textures work really in two parts. Under object, you'll have hair strands under props and cap. The cap is a skull cap that's there to give a scalp, just in case the texture on her that you're using doesn't have one. So, and that scalp, we have a few different settings already saved over here for it. So let's go to brown. We'll apply that. Then if we go to the hair strands, we can apply the brown strands here. And again, just a reminder, these are strands that you will see through in the viewport, but they fill in nicely and become thick and very lush once you run your render. So, if you wanted to change this hair yourself, change the coloring to this hair really easily, all you would have to do is maybe pick a color from the alternate diffuse, or you could pick a color in diffuse, and the diffuse color is really going to have the most effect just in what you see in the viewport. It's the alternate diffuse that does most of the work, and if we change this, then whatever is in our hair node right here is going to ripple through that. So really this just picks up all of the noise and hair qualities contained here. So all you really have to worry about is this color to get whatever color you want. And then here you just click and then sample the color from there to get it reflected in your viewport. Then you could there are so many different ways that you could snag this color. If we wanted to change the hair cap into a similar color, we could select, just click on the swatch in our HSV, we could click there, or we could set this HSV just to white and then change our diffuse here. Either way, there's so many different ways to do that that are just quick and really easy right out of the package. So what we've really tried to do with everything in Scarlet, and really it's kind of a goal of mine with all our products, is to give you figures and products that are very powerful, but at the same time are as easy and intuitive to use as I can make them. So anyway, I hope that we've succeeded in that, and I hope that that you'll take some time and play around with Scarlet. Any of those settings for the hair that we showed you, and any of the changes you make, you can just save those out as material settings and share them with whoever, however. And there's no texture painting required. It's really, really easy. It's actually crazy easy compared to the way we typically are used to doing things for this stuff. So anyway, I hope that is interesting and useful to everyone, and I can't wait to see what folks do with Scarlet and with all the little things that we've worked so hard to put into her. So again, we're 6S1 Media. I'm Les, and thanks for watching.